Frankie D here from Keeping It Real with Frankie D, the very first Italian American podcast at ItalianAmericanLife.com. And I am here with Carlo Vanilla and Dominic Candeloro, and we are in Cherry, Illinois. Cherry, Illinois is the site of the Cherry Mine disaster, which was a fire which occurred in the coal mine on November 13th, 1909. 259 men and boys died. The disaster stands as the third most deadly in American coal mining history. The Cherry Mine had been opened in 1905 by the St. Paul Coal Company to supply coal for the trains of its controlling company, the Chicago, Milwaukee, and the St. Paul Railroad. The miners included a large number of immigrants, heavily Italian. Boys as young as 11 years old also worked the mine. You will see that if we can make it out, if it's not too dark, some of the Italian names here, quite a few.
30%.
Carlo Vanilla.
30%, Frank, of the victims were Italian, and they mostly came from the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy, from a couple of small towns near Bologna. And as a matter of fact, today we talked to a couple of people here who are descendants of those miners, and they are from that area. And so they're mostly from that area, and you could tell even by the names, Dominic, because usually Southern Italians have different last names than
the northern ones. Yes.
And this town, it's a town of Fale, and back in 1909 it was 2,000 was the population, and it was 259 people died.
259 died.
So
I believe about 220 survived.
Yeah, but if you think of the 259 that died, are all
Men and boys.
it was like maybe, how much of the population, how think
Yeah,
of,
well, there
of
were
the male
women and children who were left, yeah.
of the male population was gone.
Correct.
And if you look, Frank, we were just told right across from this bank on that street over there, which we're going to go now, that was called Death Row because every house on that block had a death.
Had a death in the family,
Death in the family
due
for the
to
coal
this.
mine.
Yes.
So it's a little known event, which for the Italian community it should be an important event because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is like the second worst mining disaster for Italian immigrants in the world.
In the world.
The first one where there was more deaths was in Belgium back in the 1950s, but the Cherry mine disaster seems to be unknown to a lot of people, even probably in Italy.
Yes.
So-
And due to the fact that it's the 110th anniversary,
Yeah, and
we took a ride here. It's about less than 2 hours south of Chicago.
Yeah, about 2 hours. And that's the interesting part, that it's so close to Chicago, and I would say 90% of the people, 95 even maybe, they wouldn't even know about it. I mean, I didn't know
Possibly
about it
98,
until I
yes.
saw the book years ago.
Yes.
As old as I am, this is the first time I've ever been here, so it's kind of underreported. However, it is in the history books, and the takeaway from it is that Italian immigrants were at the bottom of the social ladder in those days, and they were the victims of laissez-faire, no laws, no regulation in the mines, and as a result of this disaster and the Triangle Shirtwaist disaster, laws were passed to regulate conditions of labor, and it also made it easier for workers to join unions. So people talk badly about government regulation and about unions. Well, that's why they're there. And the Cherry Mine disaster reminds us of that.
So we will be posting. We took some pictures. There's definitely an Italian influence inside there of what happened, and we'll be posting more as we go along.
Well, we're going to be going to the actual site and of where the mine was, and also the cemetery where some of the people that are still there, they are still there, buried there.
And I wanted to
So-
show you just a few of what is here as well.
Yeah, the two mountain peaks is what it looks like, are the mounds of slag that were accumulated. The stuff that was not coal that was taken out of the soil.
Coal power.
Can you read that up there on there? There's a sign for the coal power. So,
And this is the most northern mine in the United States. The furthest north mine in the United States.
You're kidding.
That's what they told me. So
anything else to say, gentlemen, before we sign off?
we'll be back.
We will be back.
Well,
So,
it's
go ahead.
Yeah,
Dominic.
it's interesting, and it's a tribute to the people of Cherry that they have created these, the exhibit in the library and the monuments around town. There are two of them.
In the library, there's also a replica, a small replica.
There's a replica
Which, we'll
of the
probably-
coal mine, which was very interesting.
We'll
Yes,
probably post some pictures of.
yes, absolutely.
And they're open on Sundays and very friendly.
Well, thank you. So, on behalf of Dominic Candelora, Color Vanilla, this is Frankie D signing off from Cherry, Illinois. Thank you.